James, welcome to the podcast. James McCormick is the maverick who helped ignite the IPO surge of the dot-com era when he took General Magic public. Yes, the one from the HBO documentary. Today, he's reshaping how technology companies engage with Wall Street again as a CEO of Cloudastructure, an AI surveillance and remote guarding company now trading on NASDAQ under CSAI. A veteran of Silicon Valley, James previously served as president and COO of Google co-founder Sergey Brin's LTA Research and Exploration, and has held CEO and CFO roles at 8 public and private companies, including Shorai, GES, and General Magic. In 2025, he was named Maverick of the Year at the American Business Awards for leading Cloudastructure to a successful direct listing on NASDAQ. So, how did you get started in this industry?
Um, so I've done a lot of things in my career. What I like to say is the only commonality between opportunities that I've had is that each subsequent opportunity is different from the one before it. So I'd never done anything in artificial intelligence, never did anything in video surveillance. Um, all the way back to the General Magic days, I worked with the founder of Cloudastructure, who started the company a long time ago and just made slow incremental progress with it. I joined the board about 3 years ago. And when it came time for the company to figure out what it was going to do from a public offering standpoint, the board decided it wanted someone that had been through the process before and sort of understood the capital markets. So they asked me if I would consider stepping in as CEO. And I thought about it for about 30 seconds and went, yeah, that sounds like fun. And that's what led me to where I'm at today.
Very cool. So, a basic breakdown here. What is Cloudastructure and what
Sure.
problems is it trying to solve?
Sure. Very good question. Important question. So we are a video surveillance company, Cloudastructure, that uses artificial intelligence, proprietary analytics, and live remote guarding to detect suspicious activity and alert either responders or speak down to people that are in the middle of something nefarious. That's what we do.
Right.
And most of our customers, our enterprise customers, think multifamily housing. We have 6 of the top 10 property managers in the United States as customers. And we service and protect a number of the properties that they operate, as well as
Mm,
commercial properties. We're getting into the construction sites, transportation and logistics, those sorts of things. And basically how it works, we either take over existing systems that camera systems with a traditional network video recorder, replace it with a cloud video recorder that will take the images, put them up to the cloud, bring them down into our AI servers for further analysis.
mm,
Um, and what we find, we've trained our AI models to tell the difference between, for instance, someone in the parking garage with a crowbar or someone in the parking garage with a stapler.
mm.
Right? We've trained the models through using actual footage in actual conditions to trigger an alert that if the clients use our remote guarding capability, it will actually go to our remote guards that are at the
Right.
moment, they're located in India. And those people can look at the live stream of what's going on and determine if it actually is a threatening event that's
Right.
going on or a problem event. And 98% of the time, when those guards confirm that there is a issue, it gets eliminated. So
Very
think
cool.
about that, right? 98% of the time before there's ever a problem, which you don't want in multifamily or commercial property or whatever, it goes away, right? We deter it in real time.
Yeah, it sounds like so first and foremost, AI is really truly at its infancy, and
Mhm.
for what it sounds like
Mhm.
is it's really helping big companies reduce noise and just kind of it's not perfect, but it doesn't need to be perfect. If you bring your costs
Mhm.
down, you bring your necessary manpower down to secure an area, that's really what you
Mhm.
want. And
Mhm.
a lot of these security issues like need to be dealt with in real time. So first and foremost, you said
Absolutely.
you're going overseas to India.
Mhm.
How does that work with dealing with problems as effectively if you weren't using the system and you had 20 guys in the back office monitoring those cameras all the time?
Sure. Sure. Great. Another great question. Studies have shown that an average person can really look at 10 screens at any one time to effectively determine what's going on. People get distracted. They need restroom breaks, those sorts of things.
Hmm,
With our intelligence only sending, um, I guess you would say, targeted alerts to our remote guards, they can look at up to 75 screens at a time. So we get just an amazing efficiency,
yeah,
right, from using the artificial intelligence. And those guards are presented with, hey, here's an alert. Here's the live stream. Here's what's going on right now. So they can very quickly determine if, oh my goodness, that's not a stapler, that's a crowbar. That person's trying to break into those cars in the parking garage and either speak down to them over speakers, notify authorities, whatever the protocol is for that
right.
particular property. And again, 98% of the time, we stop the problem before it becomes a problem.
Absolutely amazing. And yeah, AI is definitely playing a stronger role in this industry. And like
Yes.
we mentioned earlier, it's really truly at its infancy. What would be current technological limitations stopping you guys from really blowing this through the doors and saying, hey, we barely need
Sure.
security officers anymore. We really have this
Hmm.
completely under
Well,
control?
yeah, understand. Well, we have documented proof that we save up to 70% per year against physical guards, right? And again, physical guards take restroom breaks, they fall asleep in their
Hmm,
cars at 2 in the morning, those sorts of things, right? What are the limitations? Honestly, there aren't many limitations to what we do. We're processing today over 8 million videos a day. Right? Think
that's
about that.
crazy.
And right? And we're protecting about 140 properties or so. Right? So I
Yeah,
mean that is a lot of video.
right.
And all of that is being processed through our two data centers with, the GPU horsepower to do the analysis of what those videos are presenting, if that makes sense. So the limitations, the limitations for other people are this. We have spent a long time, as I said, sort of cataloging real world events and training. These aren't just large language models, right? We do obviously use some of that, but we're also training the models to say, this is a problem, this is not a problem. So if anything, the um, the ability, I guess you would say, to catalog more and more and more events is maybe the only gating item, right? That presents itself to us right at the moment. But there's an interesting thing: the remote guards, they're only active when they get a notification. So when they're
Right.
not busy, they're helping us by identifying clips of incidents that they stopped
Interesting.
and feeding that back so we can use them to train our AI models
So
further.
you're reducing manpower and you're maximizing the use cases of the manpower you have now, which is quite interesting. I want to talk about
Absolutely.
I want to talk about your investors for just a moment. So
Mhm.
there's a lot of worry surrounding stocks, their valuations, their potential worth when it
Mhm.
comes to AI. We're in a bit of
Mhm.
a bubble, perhaps.
Mhm.
There's just like an endless inflow of capital into these companies, and
Yeah.
you know, with the dot-com era, and you mentioned you were a big part of that as well, a lot of the money went into the dot-com era, but not necessarily value came out of it. It was all just R&D or investments and hype. And I think some of the difference here today is that, there is a lot of R&D being put into AI. It is a race, and it's pretty
Mm-hmm.
much that you're going to throw everything you can at it because the winner takes all. And
Mm-hmm.
I think what's interesting, what you're describing is it's like your model is pretty simple. Are we saving you money? Are we increasing output? If we're even doing that at
Absolutely.
a fractional level, then that is enough of a case to make saying, why would, what's the argument why you wouldn't use us?
Mm-hmm. So, excuse me, few things I would say. Few things. Number one, traditional security systems are reactive, not proactive, right? Right? Someone breaks a window, an alarm bell goes off, maybe somebody shows up to respond. We take a completely different approach from that standpoint, as we
Hmm.
just talked about a few minutes ago, right? And once we're in a customer site, be it a commercial property, multifamily, they see the value. It took us a while to get the first few big customers because we were small, we were unknown. But once we have the opportunity to get in and explain what we do and demonstrate what we do, as you said, I don't want to say it sells itself because our sales team works really, really hard. But once you're in with a large, you know, real estate owner or a property manager that manages many, many properties, it's that much easier for us to, as we like to say, land and expand, to expand in the portfolio because, right? Someone in the West region can talk to someone on the East Coast and go, have you used these guys and how does it work and how has it helped you? And they become, in essence, a very good research source for us, if that makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Now, what are investors interested in when it comes to artificial intelligence? All the usual stuff. Um, th- th- you know, are you generating revenue? Do you have a path to profitability? Do you have a path to cash flow positive? Are you are you serious in the way that you manage your business? And the answer is across the board, yes, 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 yes. We're actually using artificial intelligence to generate revenue. And we just announced our Q3 earnings at the end of last week. And I don't want to bore the listeners with, all the metrics, but for instance, year over year, Q3 over Q3 a year ago, we were up 274% from a revenue standpoint. Through Q3 of this year, we signed just under $5 million in customer contracts, which is triple all that we did in 2024. So, by any metric, we are uh, expanding and accelerating the pace of expansion of our installations. And we're very, very good stewards of our business, right? When we present, the financial information to, in conference calls, it's, the gross margin has improved. Revenue has increased dramatically. Spending is on a logical trajectory, right? Up a little bit because you're adding salespeople and other things. So we think that we have demonstrated for 3 consecutive quarters all the metrics and proving the efficacy of our business, right, as a growing and sustainable working towards profitable entity. And that's just good old fashioned hard work. It's what we do
Yeah.
every day.
James, just picking your brain here for a second. So
Sure.
this sounds like from just a little more of an abstract perspective that this technology can have a radical array of potential use cases, perhaps
Of
slightly outside
course.
the confines of your specific business model. Do you guys,
Yes.
from an R&D perspective, have any just horizontal plans to push outwards and to kind of start leveraging this technology for other use cases?
Yeah, sure. Of course. I mentioned it a little bit, but let's let me give you a couple of concrete examples and um, another example, a little harder to crack into, but you'll understand when I explain it to you. Right? First off, additional verticals. So, uh, commercial real estate, um, multifamily properties, great, great whale accounts, I guess you would say. What we have also found is there's absolute applicability in a couple other verticals. One is construction. Think about it, right? Tools, materials, high potential theft. Now, they don't work the same way. A construction site can't necessarily accommodate a fixed environment with cameras and speakers and that sort of thing.
Right.
So the way we address it is we actually have a mobile trailer that we developed in concert with a partner of ours that won an award, a product management award for new technology of the year. Basically, as opposed to having a fixed installation, you just roll the trailer in. It's a little bit more complicated, but set up the solar panels, um, put the mast up, and on top of the mast is where the cameras and speakers and cloud video recorder are, and boom, you're up in business protecting the site. Um, Another application that I believe we will announce this week is we've just signed a contract. We we call it the transportation and logistics vertical. Think think um, for lack of a better phrase, high-end truck stops, right? With, secured areas, and, entry gates, those sorts of things. Um, More and more cargo theft is on the rise. And, someone's asleep in the cab of their truck or, having a meal or something. That's an opportunity for someone to get into the yard, cut the lock. They don't know what's in the trailer. They just know it must be some value
Mm.
and walk off with the goods. So now we're making forays into that area as well, which is very exciting for us. And you can just you could think of what all the logical incantations up from that could be.
Yeah.
High-end auto dealerships, those sorts of things. And I'll mention a third one. It's um, it, it- campus security, right?
Yeah.
Specific, universities, high schools, those sorts of things. Um, Unfortunately, we've seen a rise in gun violence
Yeah.
in areas like that, right? Now, we're not and saying, and we don't believe anyone can make the statement that we could detect a gun and stop it from happening, an event or a shooting or whatever from happening because it's just too quick. It's out of a code, it's out of a case, something. However, if you think about the profile of some of the recent events, where have people been? They've been up high, they've been on rooftops. It would be very easy for us to add cameras at vulnerable locations on campuses. And if you think about it, on a rooftop, nobody 90, what, 8% of the time should be up there unless, maintenance workers working on HVAC or something or something or something. So we think that along with augmenting traditional camera systems that universities have with our technology could make a huge difference to deterring
Yeah.
issues, crime, etc., from those locations as well.
Yeah. Even just borderline suspicious,
Hmm.
just getting some notification so it's on
Absolutely.
your radar in real time can make all
Hmm.
the difference because these things,
Absolutely.
the difference between failure and success is really just happens in just a few seconds. So
Absolutely.
that sounds fascinating, really.
Hmm.
Where do you guys see the company going in the next 5 to 10 years?
5 to 10 years.
It's a big jump in the world of AI, but do your best.
It certainly is. I won't go to 10. I'll go to 5 because we're already thinking about it, right? One would be additional verticals, right? I mean, as you said yourself, and we agree, there's no shortage of opportunities and verticals that we could adapt the existing technology and make it feasible for additional verticals. That's number one. Number two, as we look out over time, we really see us being at the center, sort of, an ecosystem that supports not just our technology, but other types of technologies that we can integrate into our system through the use of APIs and other mechanisms. For instance, access control systems, right? We have certain multifamily properties that would like to have the access control. Someone badges in, opens up the gate to the parking garage so they can match the car or the person to the badge when they badged in, right? So there's an example. Another one would be, think about drones. Think about robot dogs, which are actually fascinating and frightening.
The Boston
all,
Dynamics.
all, all, all at
So
the
those
same
YouTube
time.
videos from like Boston Dynamics doing backflips and those dogs just running it. Yeah,
Exactly. I
yeah,
mean,
fascinating stuff.
when it comes, we had a demo from our engineering team. When it comes marching at you, you're sitting up a little straighter in the chair. But picture drones that have, um, you know, cameras that are compatible with our technology, and maybe a smaller cloud video recorder where hey, here's an alert. We can immediately dispatch a drone to get closer in and see exactly what's going on in the situation. Strobe lights, right? Just another way to potentially drive people away, particularly in a larger area like a construction site or a shopping center parking lot, those types of things. Robot dogs, kind of the same thing. And then you could see logical, other large logical systems that we could integrate. Fire, right? Fire alarms go off. What's going on? We could get we could have those alerts along with our video surveillance and react to a number of things, I guess you would say. So we're thinking about that now. I think probably in the next couple years, we'll make significant inroads into integrating some of that. And then we'll just keep doing it as we go forward. And this is all while we're continuing to build the business where we have just a marvelous beachhead right now.
Yeah, sounds all fascinating. So from what I hear is you were planning to retire and you were contemplating retirement when the founder, Rick Bentley, approached you and said, "Hey, do you want to become
Yeah.
CEO?" So,
Mm-hmm. How'd
why
that
have
go?
you chose this over kicking it by the beach?
Yeah. So maybe the easiest way to put it is I don't know that I have the type of personality that would allow me to forever just goof off, right? I like building things. I like turning things around. I like being part of a team of people because it it really it's a validating thing for me as sort of a senior statesman or elder statesman, right? From a Silicon Valley standpoint, to see the efforts of your work that you've done at prior companies come into play with current responsibilities, and I just find it too appealing, honestly, right? I find it
Great answer.
Yeah, just find it too appealing. So that's why
Yeah,
I'm doing
just
what I'm doing.
you're hungry for life and the
That's a
pursuit
good way
for
to put it.
education. The pursuit for knowledge never ends. That hat you wear in
Abs-
college should never go away.
Yep.
And
I agree with you.
yeah, same thing with like to me, vacation. What am I running away from? Vacation sounds like a nightmare to me. I mean, I guess maybe for a short period of time, for some
Yeah.
people, they need to recalibrate. But for the most part,
Mm-hmm.
I ain't running away from anything. And if you love
Mm-hmm.
what you do, you wouldn't be either.
Yep.
Uh,
Absolutely.
yeah, James, it was an honest pleasure talking to you.
Thank you.